1 Million Cups was born from the idea that communities are built on 1 million cups of coffee. We're making a hypothesis. If Kansas City's entrepreneurs had 1 million more cups of coffee together, that we could fundamentally change the culture of entrepreneurship in Kansas City. So 1 Million Cups is a weekly program held in Kaufman Labs, and each week we feature 2 unique startups from Kansas City. It's a 6-minute presentation format, and it's education-based. As a new company, obviously you're facing unique challenges day to day. So what's your issue? And the audience is made up of other entrepreneurs, advisors, mentors, researchers. We have people who are just interested in entrepreneurship and maybe are thinking about taking the leap. And people who are builders and makers. It's sort of this collaborative education space. People start talking about, hey, this is the gap I'm facing, what's your experience with that? And they're like, oh yeah, well I have my own company and we faced that, 6 months ago. I'd love to help you. This is actually an open forum, so every Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. Show up at Kaufman Labs. Please, join us and invite your friends and people who would benefit from that.
Good morning. Welcome to the first ever 1 Million Cups event in Bismarck and Mandan. We are very, very excited to join this amazing nationwide project. We are the 16th city, Bismarck and Mandan, to join this amazing project. And so today's our kickoff, and we really appreciate you showing up. And again, it's going to grow, and we loved hearing of the stories about how Kansas City has grown, and Ellen will talk about that in just a little bit. But we want to kind of give you just an overview of what 1 Million Cups is today. And normally we will hear from 2 entrepreneurs per week, but maybe for the first couple weeks we're going to just limit that to 1 so that it gives us a little bit more time to kind of discuss as a group how we want this to grow together. So it gives us a little bit more opportunity. So we're going to spend just a few minutes kind of telling you about the project itself. And then we're going to bring on our first ever presenter, Melissa Ahanen with BBT Style. And she's got a great story and is just one of those amazing entrepreneurs that you're going to want to hear from. So I think I learn from her every day that I see her online and doing her business, and she inspires me in so many ways too. So a little bit about the project. So how can you help? And word of mouth is going to be the biggest thing. Telling other people, telling entrepreneurs. Obviously, we need to fill our slots with entrepreneurs and speakers. And we got Erica Hager here. You can definitely be a presenter in the future. And I mean, you got a great story with your business, and we'd love to have you up here talking someday. And so as entrepreneurs that want to come into the fold and share their story, this is how we got to get the word out. So we have to work together to use Facebook. Some of the sites that we have available, the official site for our 1 Million Cups is part of the 1millioncups.com. And if you just go to bisman.sites.1millioncups.com, you will be able to see who the next presenters are, all that information. We also started an official blog at www.1millioncupsnd.com, and you can, of course, get all of the same information and even get links over to our official site. We're going to record these presentations and put them online, also put them on Dakota Media Access, Channel 12. So it's really about promoting the entrepreneurs. And we're one of the first communities to do that. So even being the 16th community, we're breaking some ground here and kind of surprising 1 Million Cups with the way that we're willing to get behind our entrepreneurs and really help promote them. So that's kind of exciting. We also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/1millioncupsnd. If you just remember 1 Million Cups ND, you should be able to find us just about everywhere. Twitter is at 1 Million Cups ND, and of course YouTube is youtube.com/1 Million Cups ND. Hashtags, if you use hashtags, you're taking photos, if you're uploading them through Instagram or onto Twitter, if you use the hashtag 1MC, you will actually join the national stream right now, because this is going on across the nation right now. And that's the really cool part about this, is 9 to 10. nationwide, this is going on every Wednesday morning. So you're going to see a Twitter stream start every Wednesday morning with hashtag 1MC, and there's lots of entrepreneurs talking. And Ellen will talk about one of the cool things that presenters will have as far as being an alumni of the 1MC and the opportunities that you have as well. If you want to tag locally, we set up the hashtag 1MCND, and that will, if you take a photo or upload it through Instagram, that will automatically feed to our Facebook page, and we'll pull those photos. We'll kind of create a gallery of some of the things that are going on. So make sure that you're spreading the word through some of those social media channels. We want to thank Fred and the people at Sanford Health. This is an absolutely amazing facility. We're grateful for the ability to use it, and we want to pack this room. That's the goal, and it's definitely possible. And as the other communities you'll hear through the 1 Million Cup story, they started with 12 people, 10 people in the room, and some of them are up into the 400 people showing up every Wednesday in communities. So that's what we want. We want to pack this room. We want them to have to build an addition onto this room in order to just house this. So, start planning now, Fred. Okay, thanks. But thanks for the use of the facility. We want to thank Dakota Media Access and Jim Cambites, Mary Van Sickle, Cheryl Zahn, wonderful support from them. They're here, they're filming today. They're going to run these programs when we amass a few of them. They're going to give us a time slot on Dakota Media Access, and this will run on a regular basis to, again, help promote, and that's what they do. So, again, thank you so much. He's been running around here like crazy this morning, making sure that the mics are working, and Jim's a great guy, and we really appreciate the support from Dakota Media Access, and this is going to be a great partnership. Steep Me a Cup of Tea has provided the tea this morning, the pumpkin latte, if you like it. That's my favorite. Coffee was purchased by the North Dakota Department of Commerce. They sponsored the coffee, and it was provided by Hotwire Cafe, so we want to thank both of them for providing the coffee. We will have coffee each week, so if you do want to let us know, or if you know that people are going to show up, just have them go onto the website, send us a quick note through Twitter, hey, we plan on showing up, because we'll make sure we have enough coffee for everybody. So with that, I want to introduce Ellen Brandon, and she's going to come up and talk a little bit about how this project even came to North Dakota.
Is it working? Am I on? Okay. Well, it's pretty exciting. I mean, we have 14 people here right now, and I mean, granted, it's building sponsors and people that work at the Idea Center and our presenter. But I just think it's pretty exciting that we're getting something like this going in Bismarck, because, as Scott mentioned, we're the 16th city in the U.S. for Kaufman to actually expand into. And so, I mean, this is going on in Denver, Seattle, Cedar Rapids, Kansas City, Omaha, Fort Lauderdale just launched theirs. So actually, Scott Marlowe and myself are heading down to the Kaufman Foundation to meet with all the other coordinators and talk about what's working in their community, what's not working. And I just think, business happens over a cup of coffee, and why not start developing relationships, finding out what startups are happening, supporting our local entrepreneurs, and then cross-sharing knowledge, because we know that a lot of energy comes when you get entrepreneurs in a room together. So that's really the concept behind it. I found out about this program actually through Tracy at Department of Commerce. She's been having a conversation with a couple guys from Kaufman Foundation in Kansas, and she's like, yeah, you should check this out. So the Idea Center sponsored my trip down to check them out, and I went to one, and there was 240 people there, and that was in June. And I just talked with Nate, and there was 320 last week. So yes, we're a smaller community than that, but let's tell our friends, let's get presenters here, let's start collaborating and cross-sharing knowledge. So I'm so excited that you actually came. So I'm excited to see where it goes too. But if you have any feedback for us, if you want, we have other ideas of bringing, business owners who have started multiple businesses to help mentoring. If you know of connections and want to, tell people about it, or maybe they could even come and present their story. Since we are going to be just starting with one startup for right now, because we have a low population in comparison to some of the million populated cities. But yeah, tell your family, friends, and thank you so much for coming. So.
Thank you, Ellen. And of course, Ellen is with the Idea Center, and really kind of the brainchild. You're the reason. Thanks for believing in this. And when Ellen gets really passionate about something, I have to buy in because I know that it's good. So I really appreciate her enthusiasm for this project. She's done a lot of work. Someone else I'd like to introduce you to is Marlo Anderson over here. He's with Zuvio Incorporated. This is another awesome 2 products out of Mandan. Marlo is one of the coordinators with the project as well. And so you'll see Marlo up here hosting from week to week, so we're just going to kind of trade off duties, and we're going to have, I think, 3 or 4 different companies that kind of help facilitate. So if you know someone that would like to get involved with this, I mean, by all means, have them get a hold of us. We would love to visit with them. But thank you, Marlo, for the work that you're doing with this, and we appreciate that as well too. Marlo is a huge proponent for building entrepreneurs in the Bismarck Mandan area, and he's done a lot of work in the Mandan area, and so we appreciate your enthusiasm and your belief in the entrepreneur spirit. So that's what makes this work. So without further ado, we're going to bring on Melissa Ahonen with BBT Style. Now, the format for these presentations, she's going to have 6 minutes to present. So we're going to pop her, we're loosely 6 minutes. I mean, if we go a few seconds over, that's going to be okay. But roughly 6 minutes to present, and then we're going to open it up to questions and answers. So as you're listening to her, you can ask questions of her, and she can, we're going to ask that she can ask questions of you as well. Maybe things that she's challenged with in her business, things that are going well. But if you have questions for Ellen as well, we would welcome those. Ellen has a microphone. We would like to have, if you have a question, just simply raise your hand. We'll come to you with the microphone. The reason for that is because we are recording this for Dakota Media Access, and we would like to capture your question for the television feed. So Ellen will be running around with that microphone. So without further ado, please help me welcome Melissa Ahonen with BBT Style.
Find my on switch here. Can you guys hear me okay? I have a loud voice to begin with. So I am Melissa Ahonen. I am the owner of BBT Style. And I will start out telling you our story. This is my family. BBT Style was actually born as baby button tops. My son was a preemie, 6 weeks, and spent 4 weeks in the NICU. So he had a lot of medical issues his first year. And I asked the doctor, how is it that we can help, or what can I do? And he said, keep his head covered, keep his ears covered so he doesn't get sick. So, as moms or some dads might know, it's impossible to find a hat for a child that's not a parka or the little Elmer Fudd style hat for a 1-year-old. So I decided to start making hats for him. The top one is of him, and one that I started making. I used to hand stitch every single letter on the hats at first. And then the below picture was from North Dakota Living. I now embroider them. So it started out as just making hats for him. Friends would ask for them because they liked them as gifts for other people, and the business started from there and grew. So hats were my main product. It started officially in August of 2010. And my niece, who loves accessories, insisted that I start making headbands for her. So that was added in 2011. And now, essentially, the headbands are a huge portion of my sales every year compared to the hats. I launched a full line of couture headbands with Adley Stump. She was a former contestant on NBC's The Voice, Season 2. She was Team Blake. I reached out to her via Twitter, sent her a tweet saying, hey, love your style, would love to work with you. Would love to send some headbands to you. And so she messaged me back, and from there our relationship grew, and that was May of 12 that we launched that line. So, and that is carried nationally in, I believe, 12 different stores right now. And with that, having that line with her, having the name Baby Button Tops really wasn't a perfect fit anymore because of the product that I carried and the area that I was trying to reach. When you reach out to different retail stores and outlets and you say, my name is Baby Button Tops, well, great baby products, but we're not interested right now. They saw the name and they thought, well, it's just baby products. So I took the leap and decided to change my name to BBT Style in January of this year, and I'm very glad I did. I went from having over 4,000 people on my Facebook page to having to create a brand new one and start from scratch, and I think I'm at about 1,500 right now. But I'm very glad I did. Because it has opened tons of doors for me as far as retail, different businesses, working with different businesses. I now have another line of headbands with another former contestant on NBC, The Voice as well. So by doing that, it really opened quite a few doors that I don't think would have opened otherwise. Again, the products that I carry, different styles of headbands, and I still continue to do the hats, but the majority of my sales, again, are the headbands of different styles. There's a thin style, a sporty style that men and women wear. My husband wears them hunting all the time, so he's my #1 supporter, I think, of those. He's got one of every color. And the thick style, and then, of course, the hats. I've had quite a bit of celebrities that have really helped to launch and grow my business as well. Nia Peoples was seen in a movie wearing one of my headbands. I had Adley Stump. Jessica Alba's daughter was the first picture that was in the news on People magazine. Bret Michaels, and then there was the Two Steel Girls on the Today Show. So by using that outlet of working with celebrities and having their pictures, I guess people think if a celebrity likes it and they're going to wear it, I need to have it too. That's kind of the mentality lately. So with those and having those pictures, that's really helped my business grow quite a bit as well. For the market and need, girls can never have too many accessories. I always tell every guy always asks, well, won't a girl buy just 1 or 2 and then be done? No. Guys, I'm sure you can say if you're married, does your wife only own like 2 pairs of shoes or 1 or 2 purses or anything like that? Most don't. They like accessories and they like to look stylish. So I have had customers, obviously, from newborn all the way to 87 years old. This fall, I had an 87-year-old come and buy a bunch of headbands because she liked them and she thought she looked good. So really, there's customers every age base. There's no boundary. Men wear the headbands as well. Some welders, athletic, hunting. My little guy wears them too, just for the fun of it. Challenges that I see now, time. I work full time at another hospital that is in town. So I work full time, and I'm a mom and a wife. So time is basically, sleep is overrated, is how I always tell people, because you have to fit it in somehow in your day. So supplies can always be a challenge for you, because you might find something you absolutely love and people love, and then all of a sudden you can't get it anymore and it's sold out or it's discontinued. That's always a challenge that you run into as a small business, because you can't afford to buy 50 yards of fabric at one time. And the power of one. I do all of the sewing except for winter months. My husband does help me when I am very far behind, but I stress the word very for him sewing. So that would be another challenge I face, is that you're a power of one. How can you expand and grow without needing more people and hiring staff? So I don't know if I took 6 minutes, but that's the gist of it. I went very quick. So that is it.
Question? All right, Paul?
Thanks. So you physically make all the headbands, but my question to you is, do you have some of the hybrid fabrics for like hunting and exercising that wick the moisture away from your head?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And currently Shields, I just started working with Shields in town in April, and they have started carrying the line in the youth and in the women's department. And the camouflage I just gave them, and they're going to put that in the hunting area as well. So they've been phenomenal to work with in the last 6 months. They've been great.
So why haven't you expanded beyond one? Why not farm out the production or hire extra people or offshore or whatever?
Well, I'm handmade, so I don't want it to go over to another manufacturer across the seas or wherever it may be. I'm picky with my product, and it's my name, so I want to see, I want to see every product that goes out the doors, essentially. Now, I also still work full-time because I carry our health insurance for my family, so that, you can't really get rid of that at the moment right now either. So I've looked at it. Right now it's not a possibility, but as far as handmade, I would feel like I'm cheating someone saying it's handmade if I send it across seas. Scott, you know everything about me. Come on.
That's why I'm going to ask a question. So you started working with, you talk about the celebrities that you've worked with, and that's been a huge boon to your business. But you started working with the Artisan Group, right? Can you talk
Correct.
a little bit about that relationship?
The Artisan Group is a group of, and Erica belongs with me to this group. It's a group that does celebrity giftings at events such as the Emmys, the Golden Globes, the Oscars, those different events. So it's a collaboration of, I think there's about 900 members right now, and about 100 people will get to put a product in the bag, and then the celebrities are gifted the products at the facility that they go to. They can take pictures with your product and things like that, but it helps you get your name out there, your product out there, and the possibility of having a picture with a celebrity as well. And they also do a lot of nonprofit. They do a lot of big donations in raffles and things like that as well.
So besides the celebrity, what has been some of your best marketing resources that you've had?
My husband hunting, honestly, because he wears one nonstop, and to work, he wears them all the time because he works outside, he works construction, so he's out in the sun all the time. Friends, buying gifts for other people. You've been great because I talk to you, I think, almost every other month, I think, sometimes. Just a variety. Word of mouth is amazing, I have had a girl come to my door for trick-or-treating last year, or the year before, and she knocked on my door, and I answered it, and she's like, "You're the headband lady." I'm like, "Yep, but I'm not handing them out tonight." But, it's crazy how people recognize you for those things.
Can you talk a little bit about the role social media plays in your business? For
me, it's been amazing, social media, especially with Twitter. Reaching out to people you didn't think you'd be able to work with, like Allison Schmidt, an Olympic gold medalist. I've had products sent to her and formed a great friendship with her via Twitter and now email, just speaking with her, on a weekly or monthly basis. That's how the whole line with Adley started as well, was just a single tweet saying I'd love to send her some headbands for her to try. I guess just reaching out and the possibility of what you can do, and using Instagram and Facebook. Facebook, it was a little scary to change names from going from that large of a fan base, but I think my page is more active now with the 1,500 I have than the 4,000 that I had.
So where do you want to see this business go to? Do you want to have it to where it's a large business? Do you want it just more of a hobby business to where you kind of do it on the side, or what's your goal?
I would love to grow it full time, that I could quit and just do that. I love to sew. Learned to do it from my grandma's when I was little. My sister also has a business, so we collaborate as well a lot. Collaborate with a lot of friends and ideas. But I would love to grow it to be full time and not just a hobby. It kind of is more than a hobby at this point as well, because of the increase of sales that I've had.
Are you at the tipping point where you could do this full time right now?
Very close to it, yes.
Okay. So once you hit that, would you transfer from other, or quit your job and then do this full time then, once you reach a certain milestone?
Yes, I would love to do that. As long as it works out, and the healthcare issue and all of that. So.
And the other question is your target. You're saying you're in some retailers. Price point, I'm sure there's many other companies that do headbands, but what's your niche? Are you going more for the high-end consumer? Are you going more of, are you cost conscious for the shopper, or what's your
I
target?
am cost conscious, especially our state. I don't want to say we're cheap, but we don't buy a lot of frilly things in this state. So my price points are set more to be of the conscious shopper. The Adley line, and there's a couple other new headbands that I'm just coming out with. Those are on the higher end, and those are the ones that sell more nationally and everything. But locally and in the retail stores that I carry, it's price point is set for the more conscious North Dakota shopper, because I think we're more sticker shock in this state than other states, especially when I've gone to other craft shows out of state and other stores. People don't blink an eye to spend dollars versus here.
Which retailers are you working with?
I work Shields locally. There's Momo's Garden in Dickinson. She'll also be in Bismarck soon. Eco Chick in Fargo and in Bismarck as well. Adley Ann's, which is a baby store in Grand Forks. Trendy Treasures, it's in Texas. Poe Girls is in South Carolina. Trying to remember the rest of the names. There are different names. There's a couple in Oklahoma, because that's where Adley is from, and that's where they carry her line. There's one in Canada that's called Pretty Please Boutique. And I think that's about it. I can't remember the Oklahoma ones, but there's several.
Okay. Are these direct or going through a distributor?
Direct.
Direct.
Do you have enough margin?
Do I have enough margin? Yes. I make sure that I get paid for what I do.
And how about for the people that retail? Do they get paid for what they do?
For what they sell? Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
That's why you have to look at the price point, but also, for me, if I'm not going to make anything off of the product, selling it, it's kind of pointless for me to make it, is how I look at it. Because you put all your time into it and not make anything, you're not really getting anywhere with your business.
And it's fun to sell it, but do you kind of hesitate to say, okay, I'm going to get 3 neighbors and we're going to really start turning these things out? And I think there's a tendency of people to kind of protect their idea or their secret or whatever. And I think there's a balance point in there, and don't ask me what it is, but I've been subjected to my own.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, I'm not at the point where I can afford to have employees, so I wouldn't expect my neighbors to sew for free for me. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm at the point where I should expand, but I can't afford to have the employees yet on payroll. If that's what you were alluding to.
What do you see your role in the company being as you do grow? I mean, do you like the manufacturing portion and the design portion of it? Do you like the business aspect and the relationships with the retailers?
Yeah, I do. There's different things that I like about all of the different areas, but I know as time goes on and I do grow, I will have to step away from the sewing machine more. So, and I do know that there will come that time, but right now I like every aspect of it. There's not one more. I do like to design and create different things. I just like to have something out there that nobody else has.
So how many are you manufacturing on a monthly basis?
A friend of mine once said this statement, Erica, I don't make one at a time, I make them in batches. So I'll sew, the same stitch on 30 pieces at one time. Right now it's holiday time, so I have 2 shows coming up. So I will probably make about 3,000 headbands in the next 2 months.
Wow. Are you using a sewing machine or a commercial embroidery machine? I've got 3 questions.
Oh, okay. I use a regular sewing machine because I use a straight stitch for most of my headbands. My sewing machine also switches to an embroidery machine, so it's a 2-in-1 machine, thankfully. So.
Okay. What percentage of the headbands that you're putting out are custom?
In what do you mean in that aspect?
Are you doing some custom work where somebody can reach out to you and say, this is what I'd really like on a headband?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so how many are you, as out of 100% of the headbands that you're putting out, what percentage is custom? Pretty small?
I'd say probably about 10 to 15%. A lot of people just ask it to be a thinner style than what I make, or smaller, or change the shape of it a little. As far as the hats, a lot of people ask for customized hats because they want their child's name, a nickname, or a team name, or things like that on there. So the portion of hats, I would say, is about 40% customized.
Oh, okay.
But the headbands, are probably about 15%. Some people ask to, can you take the stones off of this and just leave the Swarovski crystals on there? Yes, I can do that. So a lot of people do ask for small things, but I don't really consider that a full customization.
Okay, so you're doing rhinestones and thread.
I hand place the Swarovski crystals on the headbands for the Adley line, yes.
Right. Are you doing buttons and things like that?
On the hats, I do buttons on the hats.
Okay. As far as American-made materials and maybe organic materials, do you look at any of those things?
Yep, I do. As far as fabric shopping, I buy locally, I buy online, fabric swap with some friends. If it's organic and I like it, I will purchase it. Mm-hmm. The majority of fabric is not made in America, but if it's organic and it is made here, yes, I'll buy it if I do like it, if it's a pattern I like.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Would you say that the majority of your work or where you've grown the most has been through trade shows, or has it been through reaching out to some of these larger facilities?
As far as local sales, it would be the trade shows because people know where to find me and know where, they know exactly where I'm located at every show. As far as nationally, reaching out to other retailers and them finding me online as well. Because I have shipped, worldwide. I had an order last week for United Kingdom, and so I do ship worldwide. But as far as locally, sales definitely are from word of mouth, friends, and the trade shows, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have an e-commerce store?
I have my website, but lots of people will stop and ask or call and ask if they can stop by and see what I have made on hand, and I always let them. I have some neighbors that will just walk down the street and knock and ask if they can come in, so
So.
But it's just home-based right now.
Okay. So can you purchase them online?
Yes, on my website you can.
Okay.
Have you devised online some sort of catalog, or have you thought about putting together a catalog that you could send out that people could look through and order from that?
Online, I do have all of my product available on my website. I do have, it's kind of a lookbook that I do send to retail stores that they can flip through and look at everything that I have available. It's more of a slideshow presentation lookbook than a physical one.
I'd like to hear a little bit more about how you established your celebrity connections. Was it through the artisan group? And if that's the case, how did you grow that relationship?
Adley was merely a tweet asking her if I could send her a headband. As far as like Jessica Alba, that was a gifting through the artisan group. So we sent her a bag of products, and I saw it on Twitter, a picture that she posted of her and her daughter. And her daughter was wearing one of my sashes. And so, having to reach out and get the legal rights to use those pictures and everything. But as far as the relationships, it's really been through the artisan group or me just sending a tweet or an email to someone saying, hey, I would love to send you some product if you'd like to try it. So Adley was merely just a tweet saying, do you want to try some headbands? And it grew into a full line of product with her.
So are you looking to expand more in that realm? Other celebrity endorsements, that type of thing?
It never hurts having a celebrity wear your product because, again, people look at it as if it's good enough and they're wearing it and they like it, then I will want to wear it too. I mean, a great example would be Princess Kate. The outfits she wears sell out in like an hour of seeing a picture of her and her product or the product that she's wearing. So it never hurts. It's definitely a great endorsement if they're wearing your product. My sales the month that Jessica Alba's daughter was seen wearing it, because that was one of the first celebrity pictures I had, my sales the next month tripled from the month prior.
You have a very cool product, by the way. I think that's very cool. And I think you're probably gathering from the crowd here, too, that a lot of people feel that you kind of are at your tipping point right now. If you were to, moving forward here, and Alan kind of related to this too, are you going to move? I'm just going to back up a little bit. Are you more interested in the production side of things and maybe having somebody handle your distribution in the future? I mean, if somebody were to come to you and say, hey, I can get you into 500 stores right now, I mean, would you want to be, hand that over to somebody and you handle the production, or are you more comfortable with, handling the distribution yourself?
It would really depend on the size of it. Locally, I'm fine with doing the distribution, but if it grows to the point where I would need that help, obviously, yeah, I would have to look at that and say, this is part that I'm going to have to cut off and not be in charge of. Absolutely. Excuse me.
When you say email a celebrity, I just think, wow, how can you do that? And can we really do that? With Twitter, I guess it's a little bit easier. But do you have any advice for emailing a celebrity? Like, how do you get their email? And then isn't there some sort of their, not manager, but you know
publicist?
What I mean? Yeah, their publicist that gets in the way. And how do you find their contact? Or
a lot of digging. You can find, if you dig sometimes enough, you can find it. There's one website called imbo.com, I believe is what it is. There's a trial, but you can cancel afterwards or you can keep it. You can look up a lot of publicist names or managers, different names on there to find, and you can email their publicist directly. Sometimes they do have contact information for celebrities. Send them a tweet. Sometimes if you know someone who knows someone, that helps as well. So just kind of a lot of digging online, you can find it. I'm a night owl, so I spend my computer time after the little guy's in bed.
Well, your sales, how they increased after Jessica Alba's daughter was seen wearing it. How did people find out that that headband that was on her daughter came from you?
Well, I did post a picture on my page prior to her wearing it, showing what I sent her on my Facebook page. Okay. And then once it was on People magazine and out on Twitter, I bought the rights to the photos from one of the photographers that took the picture, and then I linked it directly to my website, having that product on there, and then showing the previous post that, 2 weeks prior I mentioned that I sent her this headband, here it is, and you could tell by the pattern it was the exact product that I sent, and in one of the photos you can actually see my care label in it, so it does say my name on it if you zoom in.
Right, so none of the magazines that showed the picture actually had an arrow or had something
No,
saying,
they didn't.
Which is frustrating for consumers. They see it, they want to buy it. Where'd that come from? You never get to know those things. That'd be nice. But
what I did was, wherever it was online, I put a link directly to the product under it, and I've had hits from those websites directly to my site. So if you do enough digging, you can find where it's all posted, and I just posted direct links to all of it that way.
To piggyback off that question, you said that you had to pay the photographer for the rights.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also need to pay the actual celebrity themselves as well?
No, I did not, because the property of the photo was not hers. It was the photographer that took it.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Right. Well, one of the main things that 1 Million Cups is really about is supporting startups in our community. So, Melissa, what can the community do for you?
They've already done a lot, but gosh, I don't know. I wasn't expecting to be able to ask the crowd questions.
Always, it's a collaborative environment. So,
I can help you. My husband is a custom embroidery digitizer. He's been doing that he's been in the embroidery business since he was out of high school.
Okay.
In his 30s, worked for Dakota Collectibles. He's one of the best embroidery digitizers in the United States. We have custom embroidery, we have commercial equipment. Our work, I can totally identify with what you're saying about not wanting to let go of it because you're particular about how you give it to someone else. Are they going to care as much as you do about what they're sending out? We're huge on that. And so just to let you know, I was going to talk to you after
definitely.
this. But if you ever need help, that's one area that I know I could help you with personally.
Great. Thank you. Well, I'll talk with you when I get the mic off.
So, Melissa, any more questions for the crowd at all?
I don't think so.
Just spreading the word, telling people about your product.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm involved with is Relay for Life. Do you get people from the cancer community reaching out for these hats?
The hats as well as the sport headbands as well. I've had cancer patients email me saying how much they love them, and they'll go out in public without their wigs because they like them. I haven't had anyone particularly to Relay for Life reach out for them, but I have had individuals, and like the Bismarck Cancer Center has, yes.
All right. Well, Melissa, thank you again so much for presenting. It's not easy being up there talking about your business and getting grilled about tons of questions, but I hope that it's been a useful session for you.
Definitely,
and
yes.
We'd love to have you come back and present later on.
Thank you.
The presenters of 1 Million Cups can actually do a passport program, so they can go and present to other 1 Million Cup locations. So let's say they're in Denver or they're in Omaha. If there's a 1 Million Cups in that community, all the presenter has to do is just apply through that city's website to be a presenter, and then they can collaborate. So it really is meant to grow, and eventually they're going to take it international. So pretty cool entrepreneurial church community. So
Definitely, and we really appreciate the questions that you had. They were very thoughtful questions, and this is what it's all about. It's about starting, we have to kick it off somewhere, and we have to start whether we have 12 people in the room or 1,200 people in the room, and so we really appreciate it. And Melissa, you will be invited back at some point. We told her that, since you're going to be the first, you're going to have like an audience of 10, that we're going to bring her back at some point to have her present again. But again, Jim Cambites and the crew over at Dakota Media Access have really helped, and that's that's Jim who was asking the questions over there. He's in they are also responsible for launching the Dakota Digital Film Festival, which happens in Bismarck here, and it is just absolutely an amazing thing. So their support, and the fact that they're recording this today, and Paul Schmidt on the camera there, he's with Wild Inspire. So, they're doing a great job of capturing this so that it doesn't matter if there's 12 people in the room, because we can get this out to more people, and we can push this out through the social media channels. And that's really how, Melissa, you created some of those really meaningful business relationships that you have that are really kind of pushing it out there. And what I love about you and your business is you're fearless. And the fact that you're our first presenter ever, when we asked her to do it, she didn't even hesitate. She just said, of course I'll do it whenever you want. And so she ended up being our first presenter. So thank you for doing that, and we welcome you back. And I know that Erica with Bison Booty is also in the room here. And Erica, you're welcome to come up and present at any time, because you have just an equally amazing story that I think people need to hear. And, it's so cool to see these entrepreneurs really rocking it at a global level and really impressing, people at all levels of industries. And I talked with Jocelyn earlier. Jocelyn, you have a text marketing thing. And, so we have some entrepreneurs, and we would love to invite you to come up and present at some point. So if you know somebody that's got a startup that would fit well into this, it's that open forum thing. They don't even have to be polished. They don't even have to be launched. It just is one of those things where they can come up and literally run these ideas, and the questions that you have. Melissa, you're on the cusp of, probably taking it to the next level and going full time. Well, you're going to have questions when it comes to healthcare and finding healthcare and some of those different, do I incorporate, what kind of business do I have? And this is where we're going to tap into the entrepreneurial audience that we have sitting here. So again, we really appreciate your interest in being here. How can you spread the word? Send out the tweets. That's how you have instant access. And truly, I have experienced, Jim, you asked the question about connecting with celebrities and things. Twitter is one of the most amazing tools on the planet when it comes to connecting. And I personally have experiences with some Hollywood contacts and clients now that, because of Twitter, just sent out what seemed like a meaningless tweet, not even sure if I'd get a response back, and turned into years and years of relationships. So social media is an amazing thing if we use it, and use it responsibly, and you're great proof of that. So thanks again. So help us spread the word. The hashtag's 1MC, that will push it out into the national channel. 1MCND will push it out locally. Share your photos. If you have questions, if you'd like to present, if you know other people that we would, other entrepreneurs that our entrepreneurs can benefit from, let's get them in the audience. So Alan, thank you so much for your vision and bringing this to North Dakota. It's awesome. I'm really happy to be a part of it. Marlo, thank you for immediately accepting to be a part of the team. That's awesome. And Jill with the Idea Center team. All of you are just a huge critical part of this, and we appreciate it. We look forward to this growing. So every Wednesday, come and have a cup of coffee with us.
Could we have her announce her Twitter and Facebook?
Ellen's or your
Yeah, it's BBT Style.
Yeah, at BBT Style is on Twitter.
And Facebook is
Facebook.com/BBT Style. Yep, go ahead.
It's at BBT Style. Instagram is BBT Style as well. Facebook.com/BBT Style, and my website is bbtstyle.com. So.
Yep. And if you can think of any other organizations, I know Pride of Dakota is going to be on board, and they're going to send representatives, and they're going to be a great feeder system for, the entrepreneurs that they work with, and those, they're just absolutely incredible stories when you really listen to what some of these people are doing, and really on a global level. So that's what this is all about. So it's for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much for showing up, Ellen. Do you have any last comments?
Yeah, just one other thing. 1 Million Cups is really meant not to be the only entrepreneurial event that's going on, but to collaborate with others. So if you ever have an announcement about another organization or event or program that's going on, I know Jared is here with Innovate North Dakota. We'll talk a little bit about that. But if you ever have something to announce, let us know before, and we'll get you in. So.
Once again, thank you to Sanford Health for the beautiful use of this beautiful room. And Steep Me a Cup of Tea, Hotwire Cafe, the North Dakota Department of Commerce for sponsoring the coffee. We'll have coffee every week, so let's have coffee every Wednesday. What do you say? Thanks for coming.